Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. If you just joined us, this is TMI this morning on ITV, and you'll be right on point. I am Wilson Omasha. Today is all about sanitizing our electoral system ahead of the 2023 elections. We'll double into the leadership tussle in APC, and of course the federal High Court judgment on Mahi, the governor of Ebonyi State. How do you think this can really translate into affecting general elections come 2023? Barely a year, let's say a month or a few weeks are thereabout from calculation, if not less than that or more than that. We want good elections. What is happening right now? Are we really ready to have at least a near, free, fair, and of course a credible election? Now, these are the questions on the lips and hearts of so many Nigerians of votable age. With me here in the studio, a former local government boss, yes, a political analyst, a politician, and of course, he told me also that he's a farmer. Jeremy, to welcome a former local government chairman of our Ohunwode local government, Honorable Napoleon Agbama. Welcome to TMI.
Good morning, Mr.
I appreciate
Good
you
morning,
coming.
dear.
All right, the second person I really want to introduce is a legal practitioner, a political analyst, a human rights activist. Join me to welcome Barrister Amakwe Mbanefo. Welcome to TMI on this edition.
Good morning, viewers.
Right, and we have a vibrant youth. Yes, he is also a legal practitioner. When he starts talking about politics, interpretation of laws is well grounded. Join me to welcome Gabriel Ehigato. Gabriel, welcome to TMI on this edition.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right. Gabriel, I want to start off with you for some good reasons. Because these my organs here, they are one way or the other into politics and going to a political party or the other, and I believe that somewhere along the line, let's get to see where you pitch tent with. What is really happening in the APC? The president gave an order. We were seeing a counter order, counter directive. INEC even saying, look, Mr. President, sorry, we can't follow your rule because we have rules governing displacement of chairmen and the rest of them. Mr. President warned the party members against backstabbing and from splitting the parties into fragments. What can you make out of this?
Well, thank you very much. The issue of ground is a very critical one. It's an issue that started on a very low level. And here we are at metamorphose into a bigger ball game. It's an issue of power tussle. It's an issue of egoism, political egoism. And the party player, the dramatic personality in all of those things, are trying to just flee their muzzles and go for supremacy within the party at the detriment of their party. If you look at the issues, you will find that our very distinguished man Malaboni, I've been the chairman, committee chairman for a while. And he came in order to be able to save the crisis in the party. He came after the execution of Adaso Chomole. Now he's spending long than expected, using the late 30s not to conduct the national convention, the all-awaiting national convention of the party. So it's a big issue. And other governors have decided to take the bull by the horn to wrestle power from my Boni. That's just the issue of ground.
Power tussle.
Yeah, power tussle. Egotism.
I'll come back to you on
Thank
that. Well, Barrister, you heard him. It's like, Boni versus Bello, one having the backing of Mr. President, and of course, the other having the backing, so to speak, right now, of the constitution of the party. What do you feel may come out of this?
Yeah, I think my friend was right when he talked about, the issue of power tussle, the issue of, self-dreams. The point is that in this country, most times we do not look at the overall interests of the people. The party, as it were, has its own mechanism of choosing their leaders. Just like INEC have just told the president that, look, you cannot sit down at the luxury of the
government house and appoint somebody as the chairman of the party. There's a procedure. Let's not forget, in 2020, when Adams Oshomole ran into some murky waters, political murky waters with the Edo State governor, he then was the national chairman of APC. And then, in the course of those tussle, he dramatically lost his office as national chairman of APC. And Buni was then appointed as the chairman of caretaker committee, as against all odds. And again, the truth of the matter is that, the Electoral Act made it very, very clear that you cannot be holding an executive position in the party, and at the same time, you're also holding, a party a position. So in the ab initio, the appointment of Goni was legally wrong. As the governor of Yobe State.
Legally wrong?
Yes, as the governor of Yobe State, he was the executive governor of Yobe State. That has already stopped him from becoming the acting chairman of APC, as it were. And that's on one side. On the other side, since that time till now, he was unable to have achieved what he ought to have achieved by ensuring that there's a successful party convention where party leaders will be elected. Obviously, probably because of his own personal ambitions and interest. It had been reported in the press that probably he was not an ambition of becoming a president of this country, or a vice president, or a substantive chairman of APC. As against us, he has overstayed his welcome, and the party have been unable to put the party in shape. And the president all this while had been tolerating him until just last week, when he used his powers to say, you are no longer the party chairman, that Bello is the party acting chairman. Now, in the letter they transmitted to INEC, INEC is saying that by the Electoral Act, the laws of the nation, of the law governing, party convention or electoral process is saying that, look, before you hold such a convention, you have to give us notice within a specified number of days that this is what you want to do.
All right.
By virtue of the letter dated 8th day of March, the 21 mandatory days that we are supposed to be given it cannot be captured. All right. And as such, the party cannot succeed in holding that convention by virtue of the March 8th letter, unless otherwise, if the party has to revise itself and still bring in Goni as the acting chairman. So the letter that was authored in February can now be valid. What we're asking is whether APC can approbate and reprobate at the same time.
I will come back to you, Barrister. Well, it's like history is repeating itself. While you were in the APC, similar thing happened before, the movement, so to speak. Now, if you take a look at what is going on, and for what he rightly said, according to the Constitution, Boni has overstayed his welcome, all right? But now Bello stepping in. I mean, can this be related to what happened during the leadership period of former APC chairman Adams Oshomole, or these are just different times and different perspective?
Thank you very much. I ally with the two of them from their whole suggestion. Yeah. Just to add that after the removal of Adam Oshomole, Boni is supposed to be what we call caretaker.
Yeah, exactly.
And he shouldn't have acted more than 3 months. 90 days.
90 days.
He has to organize a proper convention for another elected party chairman. That is why from the constitution, like Rally stated, elected person cannot be holding another executive position of a party. So he stayed too long and he delayed too long. And that is why me as a person are not even happy with the president, because the president himself didn't act on time. He acted very lately, and he is doing it, he's just doing at the sole administrator of the party, appointing and saying Bumi leave, Bello coming. No. You know the system how Boni came in after the removal of Adam Shomole. The neck sat down and said, Bumi now lead until we have a convention. So that is what we have probably do before appointing Bello. And that is why the ANEC is saying the process is 40 and we cannot accept. I'm only appealing that, I don't know, it will be to our advantage. I'm a PDP person. They may not be able to feature, the next presidential election. That's what I'm saying, yes. Because
we are coming to that.
The time frame is there.
Okay, but we're coming to that. But before we get to 2023, about this squabble, get 2023 and the rest of them, he said the president acted too late. That's what a former chairman talked about, and of course he talked about Bumi overstaying his welcome. But the manner of the president stepped into the situation, according to Mr. Kino, acting like a sole administrator. What's your view on that, Gabriel?
Well, I think the president acting at this stage is very, very late. And the president acting now is triggered by the letter of ANEC. I believe that if the ANEC have not issued any statement or replied the APC letter, the president would have acted. If you look at that letter carefully, it said, it gave the first warning, it drew the APC attention that the letter they received was not sent by the recognized allegedly dismissed chairman, which is Malabule. So therefore, it has, it has contravened the Article 1, subsection 1 of the Commission Regulations and Guidelines for Political Party Operation 2018. And therefore now drew the attention of the APC again and warned them that they have also made foul of the law in accordance with the provision of Section 82, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act, whereby a 21 days is required by any political party issuing notice to INEC. So I think INEC is even trying to help the All Progressive Congress by not keeping quiet over this whole matter. So if by now the president comes out and say the convention must go on, I wonder what exactly will happen. I see a lot of plethora of cases coming up and issues coming up if that convention rules on the 26th of March this year. So I will advise that the All Progressive Congress have a rethink, put their hands together, govern themselves and the members in order to have a proper convention. If they continue the way it's going, I bet you there will be more cases in court. And do not forget that there are even cases in court or the All Progressive Congress that have not been resolved. For example, the issue that comes up from the state congresses, a lot of persons who were not happy with the outcome of the congresses went to court. I think there's a case of one Salini Omoru before the Buhari High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, which was just adjourned to the 30th of March for definite hearing. That issue is there, it has not been resolved. It has not been vacated. Then we are going on to hold a national convention. So I also, the All Progressive Congress, are not going to take INEC letter as a charge play. If not, there will be more danger ahead and they will regret their actions.
All right, now talking about the proposed convention, because Bello said whether you've given us a letter or not, the convention must take place. Would there be consequences if they choose to go ahead?
Yes,
because after all, they are the ruling party. And don't forget the flexibility of the law, so to speak.
Yeah, you see, let me tell you this, right? This country is a wonderful country, a very beautiful country with beautiful laws. As much as we pretend that the country, our leaders had this laissez-faire attitude to doing what they want to do, or trying, to embrace impunity. What is happening in APC is a game of ego, a game of impunity, a game of we are the ruling party and all that. But the truth of the matter remains that democrats cannot survive in any country without an active judiciary. The Supreme Court has made pronouncements on these issues before now. But it appears that the ruling party appears to be very forgetful. In Zamfara State, during the governorship election in Zamfara State, the Supreme Court said that the time allowed by the Electoral Act has expired before APC was able to feature their governorship candidates. The candidate having been selected after the time allowed by the Electoral Act has expired, it's presupposes that the APC has no candidate, did not feature any candidate, or even if they have featured, legally was not having a candidate for that election. And the candidate for PDP was returned as the winner of that particular election. The APC as a party, they lost. And the man who went to court wasn't a PDP member that went to court. It was an APC member who felt that he lost out in the struggle, that went to court against his party. And the party, the Supreme Court pronounced that the law remains the law as far as the Federal Republic of Nigeria is concerned. I give kudos to the Supreme Court on that, and it remains. Now, the danger ahead of all this hullabaloo about the ruling party is that the end result may be that the ruling party may not be able to feature candidates for the 2023 election if they fail to comply with the Electoral Act. And no matter how powerful they think they are, at the end of the day, they will be a victim of the law.
A victim of the law?
Yes, that will be the
Now, as a legal practitioner, you say the majors end up becoming a victim of the law. And of course, Mr. President, while he was talking, he was silent about the battle between Bello and Boni, but he was talking about running backstabbers in the party. Do you sense any backstabbing in the party? Because that's what he said on the page of the newspaper.
Like what they said earlier, interests, individual interests is there. You have more referee than the players.
More referees than the players.
Exactly. And that is what is happening. Exactly. And like he rightly said, at the end, they are going to regret it, because I know definitely Nigeria is moving forward. And that is why today I'm very happy with the judiciary, because it's the last hope for a common man and the sustainable democracy in the country. And I believe, like he said, the Supreme Court has made a judgment over Zafara. So you cannot today, because you are an incumbent president or you are the party in power, to say you want to change it. It cannot be changed. So therefore, we are watching. And they are going to be the people to regret about it. Because there is so many referees more than the players.
He said many referees more than the players. The past player you talked about, it's like the referees right now, maybe you have 11 players, you now have 22 referees. But now one party member was so sad about what is happening in the APC and made a prophecy, so to speak, that APC may lose woefully, even more than what PDP suffered during the 2015 election if this isn't handled. Is the prophecy coming to pass?
Well, it's a prophecy, and let's hope that it doesn't come to pass. Yes, because it's a prophecy of doom. It's a doom prophecy. But you see this, I think the APC need to act very fast. They need to beat down their ego, everybody. Superior authority, which has to do with the president and some other leaders of the party, need to come in to quickly salvage the party and do the needful. Because the president can always give an order and say yes. In fact, what the president did now, I've actually confirmed what Nasir El-Rufai was saying, that Boni was removed on the order of the president. And for about 5 days, he made that statement in channels. Nobody said anything. The president did not debunk it, neither corroborated what he said. But this way, the president came back and said this and said that. So the attitude, the posture of the president shows that actually gives us order. But however, I will say that APC to put their house together. I'm not a member of the party per se, but I'm just an apologist of good governance. They put their house together and see what they can do. Let everybody breathe out their sword, galvanize everybody, bring the members together, let them come to the table and resolve this issue. In front of our talking yesterday that if possible, let them go back to the chairman, Adams Ochomole. Let it come back, take over the leadership of the party, let them regularize their irregularities. Because a lot of irregularities are in place. A lot of irregularities. are in place. They are grave members for the state, just convenience state congresses. Those issues have not been resolved. They are sorry under the carpet. There are other issues. They have overstayed this tenure. You know, the governors are not, in fact, the people actually doing this work are not the governors, who is trying to salvage the party from one Makoboni. And Boni is doing it because of the political self-interest, with due respect. He's hiring the vice presidential ticket. You know, but he never told you that. No, from his body language. Told you that. No, this politics, from his body language. You see that's what he's trying to do. And if there's not taking, he may achieve that the way it's going. The way it's going. Now look at what his statement he made yesterday. That he's going for a military checkup in the United Arab Emirates. And when he come back, he'll come and take over. The way as when he comes back and go to court to challenge his removal. That would be another litigation. Entirely. That would be another issues about the issue that's already on ground. You see, there will be more problems. There will be more legal battles. So I expect the APC to put their house together and resolve this issue once and for all.
All right, now he said he was going for a medical checkup of what you rightly said, marking time, so to speak. Does it mean that Boni have this party by the balls?
Well, like
has a bit of a stranglehold that he just can't do without him for now.
The whole thing, the whole scenario in APC is a very unfortunate scenario. A very, very unfortunate scenario because the party just want to strangulate itself by themselves. The truth of the matter is that if the electoral law says that an executive governor of a state cannot also be an executive member of the party, you know, can be appointed or elected either an acting chairman in any capacity of a political party. The person that the president solely appointed as a sole administrator of APC, what is his designation in the party? Boni is a governor of a state. Bello is also a governor of a state. And so even if Bello presides over the APC convention, whoever that emerges in that particular convention cannot run for election. Now, the case of Ondo State, when PDP went to court against Akeredolu, the Supreme Court gave a split judgment, 4 against 3. The issue before the Supreme Court by PDP was that Akeredolu emerged as a candidate for governorship of Ondo State under Boni, who was the governor of Yobe State. That the law is very clear on that Boni was not having the legal right, as enshrined by the Electoral Act, to preside over the emergence of Akeredolu as a candidate for APC in Ondo State. And as such, the entire process that brought Akeredolu to power was an illegality. And as such, Akeredolu wasn't qualified ab initio to be governor of Ondo State.
That was ab initio, not now.
Yes. So, because instead of going three Supreme Court judges held that opinion.
Then the 4.
While 4 held the opinion that Akeredolu was qualified to run for that governorship.
Yeah.
And you know, that judgment was a very interesting judgment. That means Akeredolu escaped just through a single vote from the Supreme Court. And you know, everything about law is all about precedence. If any person emerges through Bello's supervision for this convention, it therefore means that at the end of the day, APC will not have any candidate. And so they ought to learn from what is happening, you know, at the pronouncements made by the Apex Court. And so again, like my friend rightly put it, if Section 82 sub 2 is saying of the Electoral Act, is saying that INEC must be put on notice 21 days before National Convention, it therefore means that the APC as a ruling party, by the date of the 8th of March, has put INEC on notice in less than 21 days as enshrined by the law. And so if they ignores the advice of the letter written by INEC or advice given by INEC, whatever takes place in that convention will be a nullity. And so INEC, APC as a ruling party has lawyers or legal department. And we expect that those lawyers should be able to advise the party on the way to go. Otherwise, whatever that comes out of Bellows, if Bellows succeeds, or Bellows acting chairmanship or caretaker chairmanship for that convention is going to be a nullity. Because the number of days allowed by the Electoral Act wasn't followed by virtue of Section 82 sub 2 of the Electoral Act. Wasn't followed.
All right.
Not Constitution, Electoral Act.
Okay, Electoral Act. Okay, fine, you don't hold on. I know you have so much to say as a legal practitioner. Now, let me come to the politician, because it's like, he's happy about what is happening in the party right now. He said that's to their own advantage. Now, if you take a look at the time stipulated by, the Electoral Acts, the bill and the rest of them, 21 days notice before you hold your convention and all this. Yeah, so both of them brought a point talking about the illegality of the caretaker committee chairman. If you want to go by the rules and regulation or the act, we have a governor that was asked to leave and replaced also by another governor. Don't you think it's like a combination of illegalities we want to go by the law?
Thank you very much, Wilson. That is what I said at the beginning, that the president acted
as a sole administrator
very lately and as a sole administrator. And to me, being the critical chairman, have just 3 months to start arranging for a fresh convention. The only problem I'm seeing very clearly in the APC, the formation of APC right from the formation are 40. And the problem started from the formation. CPC merging with ACN, AGA, some part of PDP and whatever that. You see, all of them have their own personal interests before coming together. And they come together as at that time agreeing on Buhari to contest under the platform. And today, is it the CPC that come here that's to carry on, or the ACN that will come in that time? Is it the PDP? I think that is one of the greatest problems they are having. But like my colleagues rightly said, they have to forget about their ego, about their personal ambitions, or they're coming together that just take somebody that is neutral, that is not from PDP, they were from me, or from ACN, from CPC, or whatever, so that they can move forward. Otherwise, time is going to be against them, and they may not feature any candidate in the next election.
Before we call it a wrap on this thing, we have another hot topic really talking about the Federal High Court judgment on the state governor. You said a friend of yours suggested that the former chairman should be brought back into the fold.
Yes.
To settle all this. Did you see APC members, accepting this?
If the APC did not accept Adams Ochumele coming back in order to regularize their differences and all those political rascality, they are going to endanger the party the more.
Yes.
They are going to put the party in more trouble. Then we'll also go back to the issue of egoism. Why not bring back the man? Happy to him. You're going to happy to him to come back and regularize this whole thing. Because currently APC,
but he was accused of the one trying the party into
yes, he was accused. Yes, I agree with you that he was accused. He was accused, and what also played there was it power Tussle, losing Zafara, and the rest of it. Where power Tussle being removed by a court, by his what? Oh no, there's no enough illegality. Illegality will only become legality. But can we continue like that? The APC cannot continue that way. So they must bring their house together. Governors the members. Encourage the member, beg them, the one you can beg, appeal to them, because if the APC do not settle their crisis now, there will be more crisis, and I say that they may lose the next general election. Even if they win the next general elections, there may be issues of litigation that will remove them. Because if they are not removed by court, they can be removed by any other means. So let them prove that it's a big crisis. The crisis of APC is visible for the blind to see, how people for the deaf to hear. And they're in a big issue right now, so they need to put their house together and resolve their issues.
They need to put their house together and resolve their issues. Now, talking about the former chairman coming back, what's your take on it?
Yes, I buy that idea, who clear and sinker, wholeheartedly buy that idea. As we speak right now, I made reference to the case of PDP against Akredolu. And what the issues there was that Boni being an executive governor of Yobe State, superintendent over the the nomination of Akeredolu as governor of Ondo State. And that the law is that an executive governor cannot at the same time be a party stalwart. What I mean is hold executive office of a party. In the judgment of the Supreme Court, 7 Supreme Court judges gave a split judgment. The argument of the majority was that APC was joined in that suit against Akeredolu, but that Buni was not joined. That if Buni was joined, that PDP would have succeeded, and the governorship candidate for PDP, there would have been the governor of Ondo State.
Exactly.
We learn every day. So something's going to play right now.
Exactly.
If now that the law has stopped Bello by the letter written by INEC to
Don't forget that Bello is insisting.
I'm coming, sir. Bello is not above the law, so he can't insist him. That letter has already stopped his ambition to become the acting chairman to president Madison. From the Supreme Court judgment on Ondo State, any convention presided over by Buni will still amount to illegality. Because what the PDP will not do is allow the election to take place, go to court, join APC and Buni, and the Supreme Court will knock it off. So, why I agreed with my friend, the only way to remedy the situation right now, looking at the case of Ondo State, is to allow Adams or Shomole to come back. Whatever it will take them to bring him back, he should come back and preside over this convention. Because I've been sure the young man who is now having this controversy with the current the man that Buhari is alleged to have asked to leave, Buni, is a governor. Is a governor. Okay. The man that brought him
is a governor also.
And with the Supreme Court judgment on Ondo State, all they needed, the court said that Buni was an agent to APC, and so that the argument was that election Akeredolu only to be governor of the Ondo State. All right. That is going to be a red light and a danger for the ruling APC if they allow, even if they bring Buni back to continue with this convention. The proper thing to do would have been to bring Oshomole back, so that they can have
harmonization.
Yes.
Okay. I will come back to you. So permits for this discussion. Do you share their views and opinion? Do you see APC buying into the idea? Because an idea.
I don't see how easy that would be, because so many cabals were there that were against Adamu Shomole. How those cabals will just change automatically not to work with Adamu Shomole, fully for the convention to get ahead, and at the same time work freely to make sure that the incumbent fights to retain some of their states or even the center. So I still see the problem even more cumbersome through that mix, because the president, who today is the senior leader of the party, have mentioned Bello take charge. Are you now saying the man should swallow what he have said? How will he not look at himself that he's not capable of handling the party situation of the party? I believe the only thing I don't believe in is he should hurriedly come back and call all the stakeholders in APC and talk seriously with them, so that they are agreeing on one very good way forward for their party. Let everybody forget their ego or whatever. Like I said, a fresh person, because the problem that is happening that you are seeing, whether Bello Bumi is looking for vice presidency or this one is looking for it, is because they are from different camps. And every other camps, they want to, this one no, they want to be, they want to be at the top, they want to be president or be at the national chairman. So we now, if my group have the national chairman, we are capable of becoming the next president or whatever, having more position. That is what is just playing out. The president should hurriedly come back and arrange. Otherwise, by next year, like I said, which is going to be to our advantage, they will not feature any
Now you know that advantage position. You call it vantage point. So they should continue. They're saying peace. You're saying that they should just continue. Well, let's see how all this will pan out, because right now Mr. President has gone for medical checkup, and of course Boni also is saying that he too wants to leave for medical checkup. Now, if you go by the timetable, time is ticking. Do you see time working against APC or for APC, because the election is fast approaching? Only time also will tell. You've heard my analysts. Let's see how all this will pan out, because the trouble is still brewing. So much saying is more than what you see with your eyes. It goes beyond this. Like what they said, we have more referees than players in that particular sense. That's the reason why the trouble is just keep on getting larger and larger. Or will the president really come back and call people together so they can really come at tops come next year? Don't forget the vantage point of the PDP, because when there's a crisis, other parties tend to cash in on it. It's all about politics. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Well, viewers, want to go for a break. When we return, we will delve into what the federal high court, begging your pardon, a verdict is, and of course its implication come 2023. Ebonyi State right now is like the sandwich of all eyes. Both parties are looking at it. It's like, a bride will be captured by our party or retained by its party. It's all about politics. Don't go away. We'll be right back.